Okay, so it's 1:39 on the 2nd, and I've been up for a couple hours already. And the dogs can't sleep, but also I'm so uncomfortable. Like all of my, it's doing that same thing. Like when my body feels like, I don't know, like electrical current is going through it or something. It's so fucking uncomfortable. God, and it's always like, man, I don't know if it's the poisons or the energy. I have no idea. It is it's totally steamy here. It's got the cloud covers, totally weird clouds too, and it feels like I don't know, it's kind of funny because it feels so, yeah, like humid and muggy, and like a steam bath or something. And then one of the days I was saying something about the being humid and stuff, and my mom's like, "No, it's not humid here," and stuff like that. She was like, "No, it's not." And now all of a sudden she's like, "You know, it's kind of reminding me of back when I was a kid, and it's feeling real muggy and humid." It's like, I don't know. I pick up on things before other people pick up on them or something, and I don't know if it's once I say it, then I don't know. But anyways, this is my third cup of tea. I'm just like I even made some toast already, and I guess apparently today is supposed to be global fasting day or something. I just heard about it. I didn't know because I'm making bread. You might hear the bread maker go. Got pizza crust out. I was gonna make pizza later. It's like, fuck, I'm starving. Um, it's weird though. I don't know. To me, the main thing is just listen to your body. I think, because some of the days it's like, I don't know. Listen to your body. Everybody's got to listen to their own body. And this is, I was so irritated about this yesterday. I almost did another video yesterday just because I was so irritated. Hold on. As I went upstairs a couple of times, and every single time I went up there, the TV, and I can't say definitely it's Charlie Kirk. I don't know. I know he's on there. I hear his name all the time. I hear Jack Prosobiec's name all the time. Steve Bannon, he's a lot more like low key, but I don't listen to his show or whatever. But some of these shows, it seems like they go for hours. Well, I don't know. I talk for hours too. But well, not quite 2 hours, but but every time I went up there, which I swear to God, I think it was but a couple of these shows are just so fucking rude and divisive and hateful, where I was just like, the fan is on, it's blowing my hair right in my face. It's driving me crazy. But if I turn it off, it's like fucking so hot. I swear to God, it sounds like something flying over there. Which I think I figured out what came in the other day. I think it was one of the cats. I think it was my grandson's cat. He goes out and then he tries to come back in, and I think he decided he was going to come in this way, but he was like, that's not a good idea. So I think he ran and hid, and he wasn't growling or hissing at them. He was hiding because then I was making toast later and I was giving it to him, and all of a sudden I heard all this racket over there, and I go and look, and he had jumped over the wood thing. So I think he had taken his moment to take off and go back out and jumped over the thing, because then I looked out there and he was out there. So anyways, that was a relief. I like that much better than any other thing coming in. But so one of the things that gets me is if you're gonna sit there and keep on putting yourself as one of God's children, you're Christian, I don't even get it at this point. I don't fucking get it. Like, it just boggles my mind, because what does God stand for to you? Like, hate and division, judgment. Like, what is your God? What is this God character that you are claiming to be your? And then you go out. It's like, if you're going to be spreading hate and division, maybe you ought to check in with God and see if that's like what he wants. Like, if you're doing it in his name, maybe you better check with him. because it's insane. I just can't even get over it. It's just like nonstop. Hate and division, and they just sit and make fun of people. They make fun of, you know, if you are liberal, you're free game, man. They're just gonna tear you up. And this is just, it is like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like, just go along with everybody. Just don't think it through. Don't look into anything. Just go along with whatever, you know, like jump on board, create a hostile environment. And this Sydney Sweeney thing, which I feel horrible for anything I've said it, but you know, I mean, you know, I don't know. I feel like I've just said the truth. I haven't just sat and, you know, flambéed her and cooked her up and stuff. But I know people are, but I don't think I have. But now she's on the internet crying and saying, I can't believe how mean people are. And people, she said, I know I shouldn't be reading this stuff and looking, but I can't help it. I'm a human being, and I'm just sitting here in her little apartment or whatever, this little room with her dog, just bawling. She had makeup all over her face, and she's just sitting there bawling her head off because of all the mean things being said about her. I'm just saying that there is more, like, a person's what you do is a reflection of you. So, and I totally get that these young people who go to Hollywood and they want to make it, that they get taken over by these people. These managers or whoever, sit there and tell them these things are a good idea. Oh, it's a good idea. Do this, do this, do this. But, you know, some of her, you know, her legacy, I guess you would call it, is, I don't know, sexually inappropriate or something. It's like, what is your role model to the rest of the world? What are you leaving? What are you putting out there? And when they're telling you, oh, you're going to make it big, you're going to get money off of this, you're going to get that, you know, you get caught up in that. And you got people directing you, you know, do this, do that. Where I start thinking, does she not have like anybody who's telling her, don't do this, don't do that? But then all those kids that went on Euphoria and stuff, I mean, I think it's pretty pornographic personally, but of course, don't forget, I'm a prude. Then but this is the thing that really fucking irritates me. So I don't know, I think it's Charlie Kirk's show. But he's not the only one on this channel who's doing this. Because I swear to God, every time I go up there, it's the same fucking shit. With this fucking Sydney Sweeney shit. Hold on. I gotta hurry and finish because it'll get cold so quick. So, the conservative side, which it totally fucking blows my mind. It's like, you don't even know anything about this girl's career, and all your whole thing is like, oh, thank God, finally we've got someone beautiful. Finally we have somebody beautiful and attractive that are out there selling us things. It's like, right there. Like, so that is our priority. Okay, what about all the kids that aren't so attractive? What about all the kids that don't feel beautiful? What about all the kids that are super awkward? So where's their value? Do they have any value? All we value is looks. We just value beauty. That's it. No wonder we got all these fucking people going in and chopping their goddamn faces up. It's like, fucking hell. And then it's putting poison all over inside of them, which my fucking thing had a total big fucking eruption thing yesterday. It's like a big fucking thing. But, so, that's one thing. So they sit there and be like, you know, which gets me also because for how long I think advertising needs to stop. Just fucking stop this shit. But, I mean, it was a confirmation all the way back to when I was a kid, because the Rolling Stones were singing about this shit, about them trying to sell this shit. But it was always the talk of people like, oh, so we need a sexy girl to sell us a car. Oh, we need a sexy girl to sell us a bread meal. Oh, we need a sexy girl. Like everything. All they did was push sexy girls to sell us every fucking thing. And people got sick of it. People were like, this is retarded. This is stupid. Why are we having sexy girls sell every fucking thing? And, and that reflects our society. It reflects kind of an ignorance or something. Like, oh yeah, who cares about the product? She's a hot chick. I'm gonna go buy it. So it's weird. And then, but now it's like circling back to that. It's like well, I don't think we ever broke free from it, but they now are wanting to push it. Like, that's what we need. We need more beautiful people out there selling us products. It's like, well, aren't you guys an advertiser's dream? It's like, give me a fucking break. I'm like, God, it irritates me. Hold on. And the other thing, so their big thing is making fun of the liberals, because the liberals hear a message in the advertisement that is reminiscent of 1940s Germany, which I think the message is clear. Like, and then you can go do research on the people who own these places. And I think the message is clear. Yeah, I think, when you're coming and you're talking, when you're putting a sexy girl out there with blonde hair and blue eyes, and then putting her in blue jeans, but then you keep talking about her good genes and blue eyes and how fortunate and stuff like that. Like, are you fucking kidding me? And then you're just going to pretend like, no, we're just talking about jeans. What are you guys, are you guys crazy? What are you talking about? It's like, it doesn't take a fucking brain scientist to get your message. I don't think brain scientists can get everything. It doesn't take a genius to figure out what the fuck you're saying. But that's what I'm saying is like the conservative side, it just wants to go against the liberal side. So whatever the liberal people are like, because they're all, and it's all over social media. It's not just on these shows. It's all over social media. Like, I'm sure Sydney Sweeney, she's on there looking and listening. She's getting fucking earful. And so you're telling me that because these people hear this message, they're crazy and they're idiotic, which for one thing, in that side is when we say we want people to stop idol worshiping, but then when they start stopping and they start saying, oh, I don't like that, then you're going to make fun of them and you're going to tell them that they're in the wrong again. Is that all you know how to do? Is just keep on saying you're in the wrong, you're in the wrong, you're in the wrong. That's it. That's all you got. So fucking irritating. And so they don't want to hear the message. They want to pretend like, no, you guys are reading into it. Jesus Christ. And then I don't consider myself either or. I just consider myself me. And I'm going to hear what I hear. And I said it as soon as I heard the thing. I said, it's a little reminiscent of the 1940s. Like, that seems like, somebody's directing her the wrong way, or she doesn't know history or something. Like, it's like, I don't think she knew the controversy that was coming when she did this ad at all. She's sitting there bawling, and seeing her, it was like, fuck, man, is she suicidal? Like, God, that's horrible. This is so sad. But I've said people's lives are going to blow up publicly. And it's the energy you're putting out. And she was putting out energy for a long time about being the sex symbol, being sexy. That's her whole, drive and motivation is to play that role or something and see how it's going to flip around, see how it's going to suddenly turn and be something different. That's how it's going to be going. On some of these people, it's going to be public and we can see it playing out. But everybody's lives are going to be doing this. Where energy you're putting out is going to flip and it's going to show you what direction you're really taking yourself. And she's throwing herself to the wolves. Like, this is not, and then plus it's the end of this bullshit. This is not the time and place to just be like, sell yourself as a sex. It's like, this is going. And it's playing out in the micro, macro, the disease and what's happening and the kids and everything. It's like playing out. This is it. It's playing out. That's the end of it. It's playing out. And so when you're trying to feed off of that energy, it's gonna blow the fuck up, and it's gonna blow up in all sorts of ways. But so you have this side that just wants to ridicule the other side, so they make fun of them. Oh, we're sick of you guys putting on, fat people and stuff like that. And one of the things too is like, okay, if somebody is selling us something about health, well, we don't need to glamorize being unhealthy. That's for sure. We don't need to glamorize it and be like, yeah, everybody, it's okay. Go be as fat as you want to be, and we're going to all accept you. Well, we may accept you, but that's not going to improve your health. We do not want that to be a role model in this world. We want people to learn how to take care of themselves, to value their health, to put effort into themselves. But this world is, sucking the life out of everybody. People don't even know how to put effort into themselves. And so so they're ranting and raving about that, I mean, it is annoying when you've got men selling women's products and stuff. We got men telling us, about tampons and stuff. Give me a fucking break. That is also a part of the weird agenda. But that doesn't mean every liberal person is like on board for that. So for that to be like your platform or something is, I don't know, it's just divisive. But then, so they want to make fun of all the people on this other side, and then they want to not hear the message. But there's another thing is like, they don't look into stuff. They don't look into stuff. Now there's more people coming out on the thing that happened in Midtown. And then media was like, oh, what was that? They were headed to the NFL. They were going up the NFL. And the people are looking, no, they went straight exactly where they were going. 3-3, and it was the Rock of Blacks floor. That was their space. They knew exactly where they were going. They knew exactly who they were taking out. And also, the senator guy, whoever that was started on fire, he was also involved in all of this stuff. He was also a part of the taking people's place and kicking them out. It's all about these, the owning all of the housing. So we have to pay them thousands and thousands of dollars. It's all a manipulate. What is that? It's where they have control over. There's a word for it though. It's it will come to me probably, but they have the monopoly. They have a monopoly on these certain things, and so anyways, that senator guy was involved in this whole thing. He was doing something, I don't know. You'd have to go listen to these people do all this research. They do all this research into who all these people are and what's really going on. But then you get these people on these podcasts and stuff. And I even told my mom, I said, they don't go and do research. They're just, they're not going and looking into stuff. I mean, they're sitting there pushing the narrative of the NFL thing. Well, where'd they get it? Did they do the research? No. They just heard another news station say it, so then they all say it, so they just all say the same fucking thing. They don't have anybody out there doing research and trying to figure shit out. No, they don't look into things as a conspiracy. So it's just a fucking bullshit. You want to look into shit. Like, you just trust this fucking world? So that's another thing that irritates the shit out of me about these fucking people. But the, whoever they are. Charlie Kirk Charlie Kirk comes into my mind, and I don't know. I should go look at a picture of him and see, is this the guy who's always on there? But his name is constantly. But then I see some of these other ones, and they pull on it more people. They pull on politicians and interview them, and then there's so much shit talking. There's so much division. There's so much hate. I just can't even get over it. But what really fucking gets me is that to when they're trying to push like, oh no, she's just the greatest thing in the whole wide world. Thank you, God, for sending us Sydney Sweeney. God, we're so excited. She's so beautiful. What a rack, man. And so these would be the same motherfuckers if they went on and watched Euphoria. If they knew anything about the goddamn soap, that they would be ranting and raving about that. So it's just like, it's like this blind kind of like, we don't know anything about her, but she looks good. Like, what the fuck more do we need? It's like, well, if you just were talking about Euphoria, you would be out here fucking ranting and raving. If you knew about her selling her bathwater soap with the hole in the fucking middle, you know, would you be saying anything about that? It's like you try and sell yourself as conservative, trying to sell yourself as being, you know, God's chosen or God's people or whatever. But then this is your behavior, this is your attitude, and I don't know. It was really bothering the fuck out of me yesterday. I was just like, oh my God. Every time I would go up there and I would hear him, they'd be putting all these pictures over and saying all this shit. I couldn't even stay in the room. I had to leave the room. I was like, oh my God, I'm about to fucking lose my mind. I just want to go through the TV and go up there and fucking, God. In their arrogance, and you know, and I swear to God, people people need to go and have some more basis to their opinions, not just I'm just gonna pose your opinion, and all this shallow. It's just so fucking shallow. But one thing is the energy they're putting out is gonna flip back on them, so they may feel like they're on top of the world right now. Well, you go up to the top of the world, there could be a big fall. So we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. But you're pushing a lot of hate. You're pushing a lot of ignorance to push our society in a way of thinking that that's all that matters is what somebody looks like. We need to start valuing character. What is inside of people? What is your true character? And I'm not saying she doesn't have a good character. Like, you know, I don't even know the person. But, you know, she's made some, you know, iffy choices. You know, what if it was Jenna Jameson or whatever? You know, what would they be talking about if that's her name? But one of these porn stars, if she was out there on these jeans, what would they be saying then? Would they just be going like, oh, well, who cares what she did before? Look at her. God dang, she looks good. She looks good in jeans. Okay. Because it's like, go fucking watch Euphoria, man. Go watch and I know that, you know, the kids aren't under 18, so they're not really kids. They're fucking adults playing kids to create a fantasy so the fucking pervs can go in and watch about, and think about kids, because it's creating this fantasy for perverts. And then, but the thing is they put it on HBO, and season after season, and you get all these young adults who love the show. They like the characters. They relate to them or whatever. But then the younger kids come up, and then they want to, it's like they don't like themselves. They hate themselves. You got girls feeling like little girls feeling like they're not sexy enough. You have too much focus on sex. I swear to God, I don't remember there being such a focus on sex when I was a kid. Like, we got to grow up and not think so much about, well, I mean, I have a pervy dad, but it wasn't being put in our face all the time. And so I don't know what it would be like to be, you know, these kids growing up feeling like you have to meet this beauty standard. You have to have good genes or you're fucked, and good genes or blonde hair and blue eyes. Then and you know, be sexy. You gotta have a fucking rack to be valued. Then it is you know, that's a lot to live up to, because a lot of kids, they get, and then to be like, that's the most important thing. Because they even have, like, where you think, oh, well, that's stupid. They don't, they've got kids' clothes now, that are, they're selling like little girls' clothes, like first graders' clothes with little cutouts and stuff, like certain things saying on their clothes and stuff. Like it's weird. It's weird. Like it used to be, you go buy little kids' clothes and it was a little T-shirt with little kittens on it and little checkered shorts. Now, no, you dress them in like little clothes that look like they're gonna go to a bar or something. So, I mean, that's weird. That's weird. And it's going to affect the kids. What are we, using kids as little, oh, look at, wouldn't it be cute if she was dressed like a little stripper? That'd be so cute. So it's like our society just goes more and more darker and darker, and worse things happen. More of these women who just get all caught up in being out trying to get men to like them and fucking blowing up. I've seen so many people who just, they want to give up their kids. They don't want anything to do with their kids anymore. You got all these women killing their kids. Like, it's crazy. You got women selling their kids to other men. You got women who are getting boyfriends and letting the boyfriends have their way with their kids. You got women videotaping men having their way with their kids. Like, it's wacky. It's wacky. I just saw a really, really sad one too. And this one was a couple who went out. They wanted to go out to eat for a celebration for, I don't know, her husband's job or something. They had a 5-month-old. So they left it with great grandma and her sister. So their great aunt and their great grandma left their baby. And they have 3 big dogs. And the baby was crying, so they decided to go put the baby on the bed and shut the door. And then they went in the kitchen to cook and let all the dogs out. And then they decided to go check on the baby. And then when they went in to go check, the door was open. This Great Dane Husky mix, so it was a 130-pound dog, is laying on the bed next to the baby after it's already mauled it to death. Oh my God, there's so much horrible shit going on in the world, so much sad shit. There's still this whole thing where they haven't figured out, like, what happened to that family of 4 and how the baby ended up on somebody else's thing. I still think it was they went in, they did the family in, and they didn't want to kill the baby, so they took the baby and then they just dropped it somewhere and went about their business. And who knows, if it was personal, if the people knew them, or if it was instigators that came. Which I'll tell you another thing that's weird is that they had, I saw a video and it was talking about how many people in each country, so every country, how many people are in prison in each country. And it's way down for a long time, 35,000. Then it starts to go up, and then it starts getting in 85,000, then it goes up more. It's like 185,000. And then I'm trying to think of, Russia was up there. China was, I don't remember. I can't remember for sure. I could share the video. But America was like 2 million something or something. There was another place that was like 1 million. It was maybe it was Brazil or something, which, that would be a really small place to have 1 million people in prison. Like, what do you have? Half your people there in prison? Like, America is pretty fucking huge. But the thing that gets you is that prisons became privatized, and so they had to create criminals in order to fill out their prisons, because the rich people had to make money off of their slave labor in the prison system. So they had to create criminals by, I don't know, they use drugs, they use anger, because people can't get ahead. They can't, their jobs fire them. They can't move out of their position. They just keep getting pushed back and pushed back. So people get angry. The drug thing, the poverty thing, where people, sometimes they have to go and steal in order to try and make it. And so then the prison system, just vacuums them up and puts them in prison. And then that destroys families and keeps them more in poverty. And this is another thing too, is these same people who sit here and worship now Sydney Sweeney when they don't even know anything about this girl. And but these are the same people who would also be against OnlyFans and those girls. So you think this girl, she can go make money off of her boobs and how she looks, but all these single moms that are out there trying to make it on the OF, they're in the wrong. They're a bunch of hoes. It's like, well, look at what our society pushes. Like, yeah, not even sex sells. So then these women who are out there trying to make it by using their sex, well, look at what our society is saying. And then look at the hypocrisy. And this, God people. So I don't know. It's so shallow. It's so superficial. It's so, uh, don't even look into any more of the depth of the whole thing, and just as to stay divided, to fight with the other people, to tell the other people that they're wrong, that there's no hidden message about whatever Yahtzee messaging in there. There's nothing about that. I, I just, I don't know. It's just like it's like there's so much ignorance, but this arrogant ignorance. It's like, I don't know. Because I just know these people, if they went in and they watched Euphoria, oh, well, they would be fucking smacking their lips on that. Like, it's, I don't know. It's so fucking irritating. So, anyways, the drama goes on as things fall apart, but everybody keeps exposing themselves more and more and more. And these people claim to be so, the conservative movement of, that they don't just claim God's name, they claim Donald's name, they're his people and stuff. You can see how I think that, many people, I think a lot of people, they don't go on and listen to this. It's on, so I see it. But the hypocrisy and the hatefulness. And so these other people, then they are your attitude is what they reflect back on with Donald. So your fake phoniness and your hypocrisy and all that stuff, then that reflects backwards. So it pushes people away from this other direction. But also it's up to them to look deeper and not be, that this is everybody. Everybody's got to quit lumping in like this is everybody. No, these are these certain people who have gotten a platform, and they have a platform, and this is how they use it. And so they are, creating more division, more hatefulness, more shallow. They just want to argue. They just want to put the other people down. It's like, and another thing too is I saw this guy who was talking about religion, and I don't know all of this stuff. I can just kind of repeat like what he was saying. And he was doing some stuff on dates and stuff, but I don't look into it this much. I just know religion is bullshit. I've known it was bullshit ever since I was a little kid, and I try and tell people, and I looked crazy. But but it's revealing itself. It's bullshit. And so this guy, he was saying, his video was, so you're telling me that the same people who killed Jesus, now they are the ones who create your religion for you. And so I kept listening to him and stuff. And so he was saying the Romans. And so he said the Romans were super powerful, and then they killed Jesus, and then they rewrote his story, and everything is about control, which I know that. I've known that forever. The whole thing behind religion is to control the people, control their spirit, control their attitude. And you have all these people who fear God. They don't love God. They fear him. They fear going to hell. They fear burning in hell for eternity. And it's so crazy is how many people who are consider themselves Christian are so fearful of death. It's like, I don't understand, because isn't that going home? when you'd be like, oh, thank God, I'm finally going home. But no, and they get so sad when anybody dies and stuff, and it's like, so it isn't. It's weird. And so but I knew it was about control. Like, I think that was so obvious. You could just see it. Like, well, I don't know. Some people couldn't see it, but if you can't see it, it's because you're not meant to see it. Whatever you don't see, you're not meant to. Because there's so many things I've tried to tell people, and I think, when things are all of a sudden revealed on a certain level, then they're going to be like, well, how did you know that? And it's like, well, I tried to tell you, but you can't tell somebody who can't see it. So, and to me, you're not meant to see it. If you were meant to see it, I would have been able to tell you and you'd see it. When you can't see it, you're not meant to see it. You're meant to feel the aftermath. You're meant to feel the um, the things that happen. You're meant to feel that. So you're meant to experience what you experience. So you're not meant, it's not like you're doing it wrong. You are here to experience what you experience. And some of us, we try and tell other people because we think, well, we can help them, we can get them to see or something, but they're not meant to see, or they would see. And so the people who are following along with religion, you can try and tell them, but they're not meant to see it, so they don't see it. And so, however it's going to impact them is how it's meant to impact them. And so, anyways, he was saying that the Romans had killed Jesus, and then they started their church to say, oh, well, Jesus' teachings, but then they changed his teachings around and like flipped them, so it's not really his teachings, so they flipped it, and then they start pushing it, but it's essentially is like the person who killed him now is taking over the story and controlled it, and all these people all go along with it and believe it, and it's I don't know, it's just, the whole thing is so weird. Everything is so weird because it's so upside down in the way that people just follow along. So many people, they think that they are connected to their soul, but your soul it's deeper than what I think people realize. Like, your soul is, it's like you have to learn how to trust yourself. It's like you have to connect into you on a deeper level, but everybody's connecting outside of themselves. And then it just creates so much ego and arrogance and divisive and hatefulness. But it's in a deeper side of you. You got to really connect in the inside of you, and then it's a trusting too. And then like somebody, did a TikTok yesterday, and I said, if you're going to be spreading hate and division in God's name, maybe you want to check with them. And the two people that commented, the second one, I'm not even sure. I think she was saying, well, if there was a God, which some people who are spiritual, like, yeah, there's not like a character up in the sky, but there's an energy that people focus on that would be considered, their God or whatever. And so, but even though when the energy has to be all of everything that creates what a God, but there's lots of gods. There's lots of people who've played gods, lots of souls and stuff. But so the people, so the, oh yeah, and so this other person, they said, well, I've never seen him. I don't think he's real. It's like, it's like you're not getting what it is. It's like the universe. It's an energy. It's a creation of all things. It's where love comes from. So God, if you want to think of it as a person or whatever, but you can think of it, I think of it as like, when I say God, I'm talking about like the universe, the energy, and not a person. Like there's not a person standing up there watching and knows everything you do and all that stuff. And the but the energy of the universe is real, and it's based on vibration. And high vibration is love, acceptance, and it's high vibration stuff. It's connection, it's unity. And then low vibration is all of these emotional entanglements, all this hate, all this division, all this. I don't know, because there's so many 3D things too, like, we're going to use sex to sell, and, all that matters is if you're pretty and you have a big rack. And, like, that's all that matters. Like, we have to have more depth into our society, and that is where you start raising your vibration, the depth into you, into your soul, into purpose, into more significance, into not being in the shallow, being not artificial, being down into, um, I don't even think we need advertising. I think that's stupid to begin with. Quit trying to sell us stuff that we don't need. If we need something, we'll go look for it. We don't need you to fucking sell it for us. Like, we can go to a fucking store and we can ask about it. Like, it's fucking retarded. It drives me insane. Constantly selling you. And so the but the to think that I don't even see how, like, where are we in this kindergarten of humanity, that you think that because what somebody looks like is any basis on who they are as a person. Like, and especially at a time when all the masks are falling off and people are showing their true character, and people are seeing more of, people who look good, and then they really got a dark spirit. They're really hateful people. They're very ego driven. They're shallow. They don't care about other people. They're very self-indulgent, like different things like that. So doesn't that matter? Isn't that something that matters? Not just like, they look good. Like, I just don't get it. I don't get how that has such an impact on, that is what sets this whole thing in motion. This whole drive towards looking good and having a sports car, having a fancy house and stuff like that. What does that matter? That's not going to raise your vibration. That's not going to get you into heaven. What are you doing here? Where are you trying to get to? You just want to stay down here in the dark energy and just keep playing around and playing around? Most people complain about it. They hate it. They don't like the way things are. They don't like the way people are and stuff. But then they continue the same behaviors. It's like, you got to step up the game, man. You got to step up and step out. You got to start valuing who people are on the inside. Quit making it about what somebody looks like on the outside. There's plenty of people who are not attractive, and then you don't give them any value when they're good people. Sometimes people who are not attractive can be some of the best people, because it builds something up inside of them, inside of their soul. Rejection, not feeling good about themselves. You go 2 different ways. You can go into spiraling and falling apart, or you can go into, building yourself up to yourself, being a good person, being a loving person, having more depth to who you are, having skills. Some of the kindest people can be the most unattractive people. But then also, we don't want to be just being like, being unhealthy is, a good thing. Because I just saw this couple's wedding pictures, and the girl looked so happy. She looked so excited, and she was very overweight, and the guy was very out of shape, But didn't look near as happy. Maybe he just doesn't like to get his picture taken. I don't know. She was so excited, and all these pictures, and he didn't look happy at all. But he looked very just out of shape. She was out of shape, and it's like, I don't know. So many people are just like at their worst, and then they just want to go find somebody else who accepts them, and then they're at their worst. And sometimes that can turn really toxic. The low vibration of the whole thing can become very toxic. Sometimes, then they find each other and they're happy for the rest of their lives. And, they don't ever push each other to become their best versions of themselves. They just stay happy and being who they are at the time, which that's okay too. All different things can play out in this place. Anything can play out. But I think that we do, as a society, that we need to set a higher standard in our health, in our taking care of ourselves, in our self-esteem, that's learning how to love yourself. Because you don't look at them and think like, oh, they love themselves. Boy, they look like they really love themselves. No, she looked like she was so overjoyed to have somebody who loved and accepted her. And he looked like, okay, well, I'm settling. Well, I got what I got. He just didn't look like he had a good attitude at all. I could be reading it wrong altogether. I don't know. But I just think that there's a sad desperation out there in the world, and they just don't even know where to start. They don't even believe in themselves enough to know that they have a better version of themselves. It just seems too far away. It seems too hard. They don't know how to get there, and you can get there. Everybody has. You have like all sides of you. You have the dark side and you have the light side. You're the one who has to find the balance. And so you have your unhealthy side and you have your healthy side. You're the one who has to find it in there, because people who can get all caught up in being healthy, and like I saw this video of this woman who she spends 8 hours a day exercising, and she is so skinny. Her face is so sunken in and stuff. It's like she's got, one of those disorders. And so it's not like you can be like, well, just exercise. No, it's more of a mental, it's more of a loving yourself kind of thing and finding your balance. You can't just go and be like, well, I'm just going to exercise. Got to be skinny. That's the most important thing. Skinny. That's not the most important thing. Just to become skinny, I'm telling you, it doesn't mean you're automatically attractive because you're skinny. The thing is getting your place to where you are more fit to whatever your body style is. So you're more healthy. You've taken care of yourself. You're not just, all cushy and pushy, but you're more fit, and you reflect the inner love that you have for yourself. And not very many people who are out of shape, and not very many of them love themselves. Most of them are mad at themselves. They hate themselves. They get mad at themselves every time they get hungry. They beat themselves down all day long. They talk shit to themselves and stuff. That's not loving yourself. And so you want to get to wherever it is that you have to get to where you love yourself, where you talk nice to yourself, where you appreciate yourself, where you look at yourself and you go like, fuck, I look good, I feel good, I take care of myself, I eat right, I sleep right, that kind of thing. And there's not one thing. That's why it's so ridiculous, where they give us a feeding schedule and all their schedules and shit. No, you gotta find your own. You gotta find your own pace in life. You gotta find your own place that you fit in. It's up to you. That's your journey. And so it isn't just like, oh, well, you got to be 120 pounds or you have no value. That's not it at all. You have to go, because there's lots of girls, they'll never be 120 pounds. And that they, whatever they are. It's just, and each person knows it in their own selves when they're honest with themselves. When they're honest with themselves, they know like, ooh, I don't like myself. I don't like where I'm at. I don't like my body. I want to do better. I want to feel better. I want to look better. Everybody wants to look better, but sometimes it's like, oh, it's so much work, especially like right now where our food is shit. or if it was poison, and then they put fucking additives in it to make people addicted to where they just want to eat and eat and eat. They get no nutrition, and so they're gaining weight. So yeah, you're working against, it's like you're trying to climb a sandhill, you know. It keeps going down. You can't keep up. And so, yeah, it's frustrating. And people are frustrated. And they just, you know, they want to just go drink. They want to just go feel better. They don't know how to feel better. But where we're turning, where we're shifting as humanity, for some, like not everybody's going in the same direction, but for the direction of the people who do want to focus on learning how to love themselves, then you do go towards this, we're going to go more towards this, there's going to be a lot of changes. Just like the one guy who I just saw, and he was a round guy, and he was like, that he was the one I heard talking about this fasting starts today, this global fasting thing, which I don't know anything about it, but he was saying, you know, I don't even want to eat. I'm so sick of food. I'm sick of everything. I just want water. I don't want to eat. I've been through that. There's so many where I'm like, God, I just want to stop eating. I just want to just stop with the fucking food. And it's when you go into the whole concept of we're holograms, and they tell us that we need to eat, so we go into this world of, oh, well, we got to eat, we got to do this, we got to do that. And it's all, you know, this created environment that they created. But when we start pulling free from that, and we start seeing, wait a minute, I'm not even, I'm not even this thing. So you are an avatar. You're an avatar in a game. And so you can create that avatar how you want it to be. But there is this pulling free from this concept of eating. And so, and I don't know if it's as the vibration goes up that we start being like, well, we don't really need to eat. We can stop eating now. I don't know. She's right under my thing. Just gonna unplug my thing. So I don't know if that's how it's gonna play out or whatever. I know that in my own self that I've had gone through that where it's like, fuck, I don't want to keep eating. Like, what is this? And my body is like, I don't want to eat. I don't want to eat. But then you get hungry and it's like, I gotta eat something. And then, but then listening to this guy saying the same thing, and I've heard a few people. He's not the first one I've heard. I've heard a few. I've heard another spiritual person who was saying that we're not going to be eating, and you know, we need to go towards fasting and stuff. And I've been talking about the breath room people since I started this, about the breath room people. They haven't fucking eaten. I don't know if they drink water or whatever. They just live off of the sun and prana or something, the energy out there. They just breathe it in. But they haven't eaten in years, the people in that group. So, and that's some kind of, well, a lot of people look at it as a cult, but it's like, I don't know, they seem to be connected to something that, you know, the rest of us are trying to connect to. So it kind of seems like they were leaders in some direction. But, you know, I mean, I can't just say, oh, well, everybody's got to stop eating. That's the way forward. I don't know. You know, that's why you got to listen to your own self. You got to be tuned into your own body. Don't just do something because somebody else says. I can share what I feel, what I'm going through, and then I hear other people going through it. And so it makes me think like, you know, when we come to terms with we're a hologram, and you know, I don't think light beings are out there eating. If we're light beings, then what are we doing eating? I mean, it is like this material world kind of. Ooh, this was weird. So my mom, you know, she wanted to go to the store. So we go to the store. It's called At Home, and it's a huge warehouse store. It was huge. And so as we're pulling into the parking lot, I'm like, "Are you sure it's open? There's no people here." And then we go around a bush, and then so there's like 10 cars or something. And it's a giant store. So we go in, and she wants to get this rug there because it's $5 cheaper than the last place, or whatever. So she wants to go there and get this rug. So we go, and then she wants to walk around. So we're walking around this fucking giant ass fucking store. But there's no people in there shopping. There's like, I think I saw 3 employees. There was one that walked past us and said, oh, you need any help or something? And then There's, I think, 2 cashier girls. And so but I don't know. I didn't go through and count how, I was like, man, there's not very many people work here. Not very many people shopping in here. It was like 5 people in here. And I couldn't believe it. The amount of stuff in this fucking store was boggling my mind. It wouldn't be just like a stack of, like you go to the store and they've got like, what are those? Because we were kind of over by the outdoor stuff. So, or what are those chairs, like the blue chair that you lay on to lay out, whatever those chairs are called. So it would be, like you go to a store and there's like I don't know, 5 of them or something. Some of them are in a box. They have one out or something. Oh no, this has like 20 of them stacked up, stacked up, stacked up, stacked up, like stacks and stacks and stacks of this shit. Go through the cushions. And when I left, I couldn't take every single thing, and there wasn't a lot of I didn't have a ginormous truck, and so I brought my outdoor furniture that's wood, but I didn't bring the cushions. The cushions were old, and Winston had chewed them up when I very first got them, so and I'd recovered them. They were old. I was like, I'm not bringing them, and I was like, well, I'm gonna have to buy new cushions. And I don't, you go online and stuff, and they're expensive as shit. These were expensive too, but anyways, there was zillions and zillions of cushions, just rack after rack after rack. Not just a rack, a big, huge open area of 100 cushions, 100 cushions. This color, 100 cushions of this color, 100 cushions of this color, and this pattern, and this pattern, and this pattern. I was like, this is mental. And then we walked through the planters. Oh my God, there was planters that was almost as tall as me. Like there's ginormous planters, and my mom's like, oh, these are so cool. I was like, geez, that'll take a lot of dirt. And she's like, oh, well, I don't think you'd put dirt through the whole thing. I'm like, I don't know, but but tons and tons and tons. Wouldn't just be like a few things. No, it was so much stuff. I was like, this is weird. There's something weird. Like this has got to be some part of some kind of laundry system. Something with these shell company. There's these LLCs or something. Maybe this is some place where you've got all this surplus in there, and then it burns up or something. Because there are stores where there's tons of. I mean, didn't Sears go bankrupt? It had fucking people in it all the time buying shit. There's people online buying shit at Sears, and it went bankrupt. This store's got no people in it. It's got just fucking so much stuff, but it stays open. How are they keeping this fucking place open? So weird shit. I said it about 100 times more in there. Like, this is weird. This is weird. And then the song that was blasting over was "It's a Material World and I'm a Material Girl." I was like, oh my God, this whole thing is just so fucking weird. It was like you were in just this material world, and it was like this materialistic society. And she's like, well, maybe businesses come here and buy stuff. It's like, I said, well, maybe realtors, maybe when they're doing those, setting up the houses to look like people live there, maybe they come and buy stuff, and there's some kind of shenanigans that go on with this. I don't know. It's just like the same thing where people started saying about the mattress stores. Like, how is there a mattress store on every fucking corner? Like, there's something weird, which I do totally think that there is something weird about the mattress stores, and there's something, if it's part of the laundry system. But this at-home store, like, what the hell? And it's been there for years. I mean, it's always, nobody's ever in there shopping. It's like, well, my mom's like, well, somebody must come in here. They must come in and buy a whole bunch of stuff. So, well, so you need a stack of 200 chairs? Like, it's weird, man. The whole thing. And they had their Halloween decorations out already. They weren't just like, I mean, there was one skeleton that was, I don't know, 20 feet tall. There was like heads, like they had skeleton heads, pumpkin heads, some other Halloween big thing. Giant. So you go get a giant skull to put out in your front yard. everything was huge. And then we didn't go down to the part where it was the home furnishings and the bedrooms and stuff like that, but I could see some of the stuff from where I was. And it was like these giant candelabras that are all like, it was the weirdest thing. If you've never been there, this is the first time I've ever been there. If you've never been there, it's weird. It is fucking weird as shit. And I don't know. There's these, I don't know, there's something about these LLCs, these shell companies, and the corporation uses these different things, and so I don't know all their ways around taxes and money and stuff like that, but I swear to God, this has got to be, I'm not one of those people that goes out and does all this research. Oh, who owns this and who owns that and all that. Those people, like, I think that they are, that's a special kind of person that can go and do all that. That's not, all I can do is go in and think like, okay, something's weird here. This is weird. This is not normal. But in our world right now, there's so much weird shit. There's so much, it's all built on corruption. And I saw this girl yesterday too. And she said, okay, I know I'm going to get a lot of backlash on this, but have you ever thought maybe that the world's being run by vampires? I was like, I've been saying this for years. I've been saying those people, the Child of Roth, the Fellers of Rock, they are vamps. That's what whatever beings that they are. And they may not be, running around chewing on our necks, but they live off of blood and organs and stuff. Like, there's something too. They live off of what is weird too is maybe, they have to get us to be convinced that that's what we are, so we create that so that they can live off of it. Because everything is to change our direction of how we put our energy. Because once we start directing our energy through us, that's where I think we start being like, I don't need to eat. That slows me down. It's like you're filling your avatar, you're filling your hologram up with a bunch of stuff that you don't need, and then you start convincing yourself that you do need it, and you give yourself the pocket to put it in. So you create this flesh and blood concept of yourself and what that means and what it needs, and so it's all created. But once we step away from that, and then we start being like, wait a minute, I'm just energy, this is an illusion, and so why do I need to feed this illusion? Why can't I just go out and experience, life and stuff? But that doesn't mean like that you can never eat. Like, I think I don't know. I think a lot of things are going to change about food. That's for sure. I think a lot of things are going to change about how we perceive ourselves, and that's going to change how we approach life, approach what we think that we need and stuff, that's falling apart. And so, but when you're talking about, up there, then it sounds crazy when you're back here, because back here we got people who, they think they need to eat, they need protein, they need calcium, they need this, which I know that we need like minerals, but it's like trying to, because we're like 98% water, so it's like you're trying to take the minerals out of the water, well then the water is going to become, diseased or something. So that is, I know we need minerals, and it is kind of like keeping the car running, it's keeping the vehicle going. It needs certain things, but it's not in this way that they tell us. So I don't know if it's making sense. I can see it and I can understand, but I don't know how to say. But to me, it's like we just don't need the things that they tell us. But we do need minerals. We do need, something to power this vehicle that our energy is riding. and but it's not all the other stuff, because that bogs us down, and that can be used toxically, because then people can create a cushion around them to not, so that they don't absorb everybody's energy. And so many people gain weight when they have got some kind of trauma or something they don't feel good about or whatever. So then they put on weight because it's a cushion. It's a cushion to all of the other energy. But like I said, once you've built that cushion, then it becomes your prison, and then people feel stuck, and then they start turning in on themselves. So you're trying to block out other people's attitude or whatever, but then you take it on your own, and then you put yourself in the prison, and then you beat yourself down. But it all comes to this: being honest with yourself and being truthful with yourself and taking responsibility and being like, well, I could make changes. And I know that everybody's programmed into thinking what you need to stay alive. You need this, this, and this. But that's where you got to start breaking these programs. And that takes, starting to see like this place isn't real. It was material is vibration. And so when the vibration's slow, it gives the illusion of this, but this isn't real. Because if it speeds up, then it changes. And so it's not what it is, even though there's so many people who buy into the concept of what it is. And they believe that, and then they go at the world as if that's all it is. But when you are of a higher vibration and you don't see the world on the same level as them, then you're the crazy one. It's like, but to me, they are the ones who are lost. It's like you're lost in this material world, being a material girl. It's like you got to speed up your vibration. You got to, pull yourself up into this higher vibration. And when you get up in the higher vibration, then, a lot of your perceptions and your concepts are going to change, because that is, all of those stuff in the low vibration isn't real. It's an illusion. And so matter isn't real. And it's, we think that, this room is real. All this stuff is real because we can touch it. But that's our sensors. It's like this. It's the same kind of thing as those like the meta and stuff. You put on your little goggles and go into that world, and it feels real. Though that's the same thing this is. We go into this, and this is our avatars, our goggles, with sensors, so that it feels real, but it's not real. And oh yeah, this weird thing that's going on. So, because they've got this all talking about the AI, the AI is out to get us. Now I'm thinking, are they going to tell us that the AI is doing stuff? Because now, I don't remember where it was, Pittsburgh or someplace. It's who is this guy? This governor. I hear his name all the time. So it's one of these shit-ass governors. I hear his name all the time, so I know he's a fuckery. He's like Newsom. I haven't heard Wheeler's name in a while. I don't know what's going on with him. But whoever this guy is, I can't think of his name. But so his city and his state all of a sudden lost power. Something came and took over, like their internet. They took their power down. A whole bunch of stuff that happened, and they're saying it was an attack. It's like, I wonder if they're going to turn around and start saying AI is attacking us. AI is doing it, because we've got all these people coming out and saying AI is our enemy, AI is out to get us, AI is demons and stuff like that. And now we're going to have things going down, like, things not working and stuff like that, which, I think anybody who has a phone and stuff knows, like, some of the things you have to deal with your AI and the fucking shenanigans. But especially my mom, she's got so many problems. I keep saying, be nicer to your AI. She's cussing them out and stuff. I'm like, gotta be nicer. can hear you. Um, but if it isn't that they are going to turn around and say that, because especially because that one time traveler guy who said that the reality that he came from, AI is in charge of it, and AI runs the world, and there's a lot of weird stuff, like you get a secondary avatar, I think is weird. But anyways, I'm not going to that world, I know that. But if this isn't kind of a part of the creating that one, I know I'm not going there. I know there's this other one that's going on. I'm going towards this other one. And if it is that, we're gonna die in order to go there or something, and so be it. I mean, we got to get out of this one somehow. And that's the thing too, is where these people, they think God's the bad guy. God's so evil. How could you worship something that doesn't care about people? He lets these bad things happen to people. Well, for one thing, you are more in charge of your soul than you think. You're the one who creates your own environment, your own world, your own existence. And the universe is not going to have the same value on life because this isn't real. So it's not going to sit there and think, oh, well, we got to be careful. We don't want him to die. It's like, death isn't real. You're just going to go out. You're going to go to another place. It's not even real. And so that is another thing where they go against God, because how could God do this? What the fuck are you talking about? Death isn't even fucking real. It's like, it's mad. It's crazy. Religious people too. Like, they're convinced death is real. Like, oh God, go argue with one. Like, fuck, man. Like, you'll be schooled, man. And it's like, so, but death isn't real. So whatever, when this stuff comes in and the water comes in and sweeps away all of California and the people are all falling apart, like all these people died. No, they didn't. They just left this fucking game. They just left and they went somewhere else. They're not dead. It's like there's no such thing as dead. And so and God's so evil. How could he do this to all these people? God didn't do it, and it's not even real. So all they did was leave this game and go to another one. So whatever is going to happen. Like, I don't know how this ascension thing and this rapture, you still have all these people who, because that was one of the things I got a comment yesterday too with, I don't even know why much video. It was on a ranch yesterday. But the rapture, oh, well, everybody needs to get right with Jesus because the rapture is about to happen. And as far as I've said it about 100 times, if the rapture is the separation, the rapture would be the lower vibration, would be separating from the higher vibration. The lower vibration doesn't see heaven on earth. They see that they need to leave and go to the heavens. They need to go be with God. And so they would be separating. So they think like, well, we're going to all leave and go up to the heavens. Well, that's kind of dying, like in your sense of dying, but they all have it happen at once and all their clothes fall down and all that stuff. And you're sitting there 1 minute and people are around you and the next minute they're not there, is what's supposed to go down. So they don't feel the pain of death, but they leave this world, they leave this story, and this story continues. And they say, well, they're leaving it because the tribulation is going to happen and it's going to be the war of all time. And so God's pulling them out so they don't have to deal with it because they're on God's good favor. And to me, it's like, the ascension is the ascending, going up in vibration. So that is going, and then you continue as this character. You don't really end this character, you ascend this character. So then you go into this new vibration, this new world. And I don't think that we're going to go through 7 years. I think we're in this tribulation personally. I think we're in the battle, the battle that leads to this separation of the two energies. But then the one energy, it depends on what the aftermath is going to be. and what all has got to go. But how is it that we, when we don't play this, that we would be the ones who have to suffer the aftermath of it? So you guys created it, but you think we're going to stay and finish it. I don't think so. You guys want to keep us, this religion battle and hatefulness and all that stuff, but you think we're the ones who are going to fix it or something. I mean, to me, the higher vibration is just going to move towards the creation of a new reality, which is going to create a whole bunch of realities. It's going to be like a park with mini gardens. So it's going to be a whole new creation of existence in a higher vibrational realm when we learn our own value and we learn our own abilities. And then we become the creators of this new world, this new realm. And depending on the aftermath, like I said, because there's going to be changes to the land mass and stuff. So there's going to be, building whole new places to be in. And then these other ones, that they're gonna, go forward and see what it is to have AI run the world or whatever their thing is, then that is a splitting off too. That's, and when you think about like the Big Bang, you think of like the energy hitting, going in a lot of directions, not just necessarily going this way or that way, which that would be this splitting apart of the, whatever that's called. The, I put a thing in it the other day because I went and looked at the Catanuga or something, or whatever it is, the Kali Yuga, the Kali Yuga cycle, and so the splitting off, but but I see it as this creation of something new. So it's like explosive, and so it's the splitting off, but it's like the solar event, what is that called? Just the solar event or whatever. That this explosive thing with the sun, and where it's going to explode and go dark, or I don't know how it's all going to play out, but but it being more like a big bang, and so this like as it bangs out, then all the things of these vibrations going in all these different ways to go into these different experiences. And so, but the two poles are going in two different ways. So the things that are on the positive and the things that are on the negative are going to split apart and go two different directions. But there's going to be everything in between, all the sparks. All the sparks will go out and make new realities. And so they're going to go out, like the thing of the sparks is the souls. So the souls are going to go in all these directions. And so some are going to go towards this, making this world of AI or something. And then the ones, to me, the shifting of the poles, so the opposites, the positive, is going to go towards this ascending into a higher vibration and going into experience what it is to be a creator. But see, you have to walk yourself into that, because that's very offensive to people when you start saying, I'm a creator, I'm a God, I'm a this, I'm a that. They don't want to recognize that power. They want to put that power outside of themselves. And when you go inside of yourself, you start realizing what you are. And so the people who get into that point of reference and begin to live that lifestyle going towards that is the poles pulling apart from each other. That's what I said about this, is the battle between the control and the freedom, is the pole of the high vibration and the low vibration, because control is about low vibration. Everything about religion is about low vibration. Everything about taking a knee towards a God and having this God person have this power over you, which there has to be an entity to be a God. And then so then you have these other vibration entities, these ones that they're worshiping, that they just worship blindly, just like this whole fucking Sydney Sweeney bullshit from this side. These you got to look in deeper. You can't just be like, well, this is what they said, so this is who I worship. It's like, yeah, but what does he represent, man? What is the representation of the character? It's like, it's, hate and division. That's what you're fucking putting out there, judgment and stuff. It's like, no. So you want to go towards the, I mean, everybody's going to go towards what they're supposed to go towards. Your vibration is going to pull you in the direction you're supposed to go. It's part of your program. It's part of your destiny. So you can't pull yourself from somewhere you're not supposed to be. You're not going to hear it. You're not going to understand it. You're only going to understand in the direction you're supposed to go. And so that's what's going to make sense to you. Anything else isn't going to make sense to you. So going, for the people who are going in the direction I'm going, that would be, we're going to go towards this higher vibration, towards this, getting into the concept of your own abilities and however you want to look at yourself. You want to look at yourself as a God or a creator or your divinity or your essence of being, whatever, because you are of the divine, you are of divinity. And these people don't want to recognize it in themselves yet. And they still, are in a place of, I don't know, it's like hanging your coat on somebody else's hanger. It's needing somebody to be the excuse, the devil made me do it, God will forgive me, needing a savior kind of concept. And the other, going towards yourself, is your own savior, is where you take responsibility for yourself. You take responsibility for your health. You take responsibility for your life. And you start redirecting your energy, and you start pulling more towards, love and acceptance. And you can recognize, like, everybody's got good and bad inside of them. There's no real bad guy or no real good guy. Trying to always be the good guy is like an empty way to put your energy. There is no really good guy. And then what are you trying to, who are you trying to please? What are you trying to do it for? Why can't you just be real with yourself? Yeah, you're a little good and you're a little bad. Some people like you, some people don't like you. That's just the way it is. You affect people in different ways you affect them. And a lot of times it's the effect that they need, because it's what, once you've affected them, that's their thing. It's their healing. It's their journey. It's their stuff. You don't have to go around and fix everybody's stuff. You just have to be real. To be real, and you have to be honest. That's what's important. And be authentic, not be a fake and a phony, and think that, you can put on a smile and that makes you a good person. You can put on a wig and some makeup and that makes you a good person. It's like, there's more depth to people. And people are like that shallow that they don't even know their own depth. And so anyways, but the ones that are going towards the higher vibration, towards the light, then that is these certain stages of growth that you go through in order to find your own truth and to be your own real, authentic self, your real self. In that process is where you start realizing that, the people who have done you wrong, well, they were just struggling too. They weren't really intentionally trying to hurt you. They just are broken people. Everybody's broken. And so you don't just hold it against them and stay in your anger and your resentment and you're going to get revenge and they're bad people. No, you just got to get to the point of realizing, like, nobody's good or nobody's bad. Everybody's just here having experiences and trying to learn from them. I mean, even the people who, seem like, oh, well, they're just going into low vibration. They're just going into they're going to stay in these low vibration worlds of, having a savior or whatever. Then, but whenever they leave the game, whenever they leave out of it, their soul always goes back to home. So it's not like they're ever stuck there. Even though there's all these beings who want to keep people stuck, but everything is for the soul to realize it's not stuck. You don't stay stuck if you can unstick yourself. You got to know your own freedom. And then, what if freedom is only what you believe it is? What if, we are all just in a fishbowl, but as long as we think we're somewhere else, we're somewhere else. So does it really matter? You know, everybody gets all paranoid about the Matrix. Well, if you can turn your Matrix into the best place ever, then what the fuck does it matter? So you can make your Matrix hell, or you can make your Matrix heaven. It's up to you. But those of us who want to go and live an experience of love and unity and feeling good and, you know, a community and all of those kind of perceptions, that we get to go and experience that. We're going to create it. It's going to happen. It's up ahead. And more people are seeing it. More and more people are going to see it. And then there's other people who are going to continue being trapped. But I don't know, you know, how it's going to go. Like, because in those QHHTs that Allison Coe was talking about, that there was a lot of people saying that ships come, which I'm telling you, there's ships up there. I saw a fleet of them going. It was so trippy because they looked exactly like a fleet of spaceships with a cloud on them. It's the craziest looking thing, which I guess now the government is coming out and saying they've got a surveillance that is being, whatever it is that the spaceships do. They hide themselves. What is the word? There's a word for it. They hide themselves, whatever the fuck it is. And so the government has got things surveilling us that are able to, it's trying to come in my mind, hide themselves, whatever the word is, that, so that they, and I don't know what it is that they are surveilling us or whatever. I know that we're being watched all the time. I know that. I've known that since we were a kid, since I was a kid. But but I don't know if it's the ships, if there's all these ships that are coming in, and they're talking about they are up there cloaked, that's what it is. So all this surveillance that's able to cloak and shapeshift and stuff. So I don't know. Are they saying the trees are surveilling us, but they can look like trees to us, but really it's surveillance? I don't know. When, you know, this world, you know, because that was another thing that those QHHT people were saying on Allison Coe's thing a few years back, was that all of a sudden everything is going to go off, and then we're going to see the truth to the universe, and it's going to look way different, and then all of a sudden it's going to come back on, but it's going to be a new reality. That would be, to me, the solar flash, and that would be when those people are going to go into a different direction, and those of us, we're going to be into, then when it comes back on, it's going to be, I think, a lot more magical looking. It's going to be a lot more colorful and beautiful and stuff. So, and that's where what we're going to have to work with, because that's what we all want, and it's going to be us all coming together in as a collective that creates this age of Aquarius, this heaven on earth. And so that's the world that will be created by us that go in that direction. And that's the one I'm going towards. That's the one that I know of. As I mean, this AI one was new news to me. And then, now I've just seen how this is going with the control and the judgment, the hatefulness, and it's just, you know, you can see it splitting apart. And I don't know if there's going to be, you know, there's going to be at this awakening point, something that awakens people to see the truth. And but it's going to be people's own resistance to the truth will be their trap. And so, and when they resist the truth, then they get to go, you know, learn more stuff, go to more lives and learn more things. And if they're going to take a time out and go talk to Jesus for a while, I don't know, you know, because they all think that they're going to go sit, you know, at Jesus' feet and sing to him for eternity. But I think at some point you get bored with that, and you'd be like, well, now what? Be like, well, now you gotta go learn some more. You gotta go over there and learn, because you didn't learn those lessons yet. So I don't know. I just know where we're going is where we don't die anymore. We just go on and we live and we experience, and it's just like going into the higher vibrations, going into the heavens. We're going into that kind of thing, which that kills us off out of the low vibration, if that's how you want to look at it. So it's a whole new way of living, a whole new way of existing. But in order to get there, you do have to work on yourself. You do have to let go of the baggage. You have to be real with yourself. You have to see things clearly. The biggest thing is being honest with yourself. I swear to God, so many people just lie to themselves. Tell themselves, they can't be a better person. They can't look better. They can't feel better. And a big thing is you got to get off of this thing of feeling like, you have to be a certain attractiveness to have any kind of value. It's like, because no matter what you look like, if you feel good about yourself, you shine. And that makes you more beautiful. It makes you more attractive, where people find you attractive. They look at you, they're attracted to how you look. So it doesn't matter if you got blue eyes or high cheekbone or whatever the things are that they're selling, is that it has to do with you from the inside. From the inside, when you love yourself on the inside, you shine on the outside. And so, but when you don't feel good about yourself, then you feel like you're not good enough. But that's a lie. It's a lie. And it's where you have bought into the stories of this place, the stories of this world. And then when you start realizing too that there's tons and tons of different beings, and they all look all different. There is this whole thing about what's attractive and what's not attractive. I swear to God, that Twilight Zone, that was, that's the truth. It's and it was the one where all these like pig face people, they were the doctors and the nurses. Oh my God, you're so hideous looking, but we're doing the best we can to make you look better. And her face is all wrapped up, and then when they unwrap it, she's this beautiful blonde hair, blue eye, and she's gorgeous. And they are all like, oh, you're so hideous, it didn't work, and she's going to the mirror crying. It's because it all just depends on what it is, where you want to fit in. And you can take somebody who's beautiful and they don't think they're beautiful if everybody else looks different. If you go into a place where everybody's got dark hair and dark eyes, and you have got light hair and light eyes, well, they can all find you fascinating and strange. But you may be like, God, I just wish I had dark hair. I wish I didn't look like this. I wish I could look like them, and not value yourself at all. So everything is by perspective, by it's the same thing. Are you short or are you tall? It depends on who you're standing next to. Are you skinny or are you fat? Depends on who you're standing next to. So it's all a concept. It's not none of it's real. It all depends on where you're measuring yourself to. So stop measuring yourself to everybody else and start just learning how to become your best version. The best version of you is in there. You just got to go towards it. And so anyways, I'm really ranting and raving. But I got to get it out of me. But anyways, let's look at this. I did use that Dr. Groot's yesterday. I did like it. I did feel like it. Oh man, it made my hair so soft. I really liked it. And so I'm going to see how it works. But I did still have shedding. So I don't know how long it takes before, you don't have that fucking handful of hair that comes out of your hair when you wash it. So but this is still growing. It's not just falling out. So I'm sure there's got to be, if there's hairs growing right here, there's got to be hairs growing in other places too, throughout my hair. But you'd think you'd start seeing it stick up, which in New York, over like, I don't know, it's by 7th and 41st or something. I'm not sure what streets, because I'm familiar with their whole way. But there's a certain area is people are going through, their hair is sticking straight out. And this one girl was like, why is people's hair doing that? Well, it would be some kind of electric magnetic thing, and something with frequency, which I know they're blasting us with frequencies because we get this microwave, and then I can hear some of the frequencies. They blast in, and it's fucking loud, and there's already some this morning. So I don't know. It's weird though. Is that if you're walking through there and your hair starts standing up like that, I would be kind of like weirded out. Like, man, what is this doing to my body then? It's electromagnetic field or something. There's going to just be more and more of this weirdo world, this science lab controlled world that is going to keep on being brought to our attention over and over and over. And I guess Tulsi now, she's bringing a whole bunch of attention onto the, HRC and Barack and stuff. So there's supposed to be more drama with that. Yesterday was August 1st. We didn't ever get any fucking money deposited. And I didn't ever even see him come on and say anything about it. So that's just aggravating, man. God. I wish things could move faster. I wish people would catch on faster. But it just goes and goes and goes. Slowly return. Yeah, that was from a scary movie a long time ago. Anyways, my nose is running. But, and then, oh yeah, let's look at this thing. That's where we're at with that. And then my eye has done some fucking fuckery. But I just keep going at it with the aloe vera on the outside and the black seed oil on the inside. And definitely my sight, though, my vision's way better. But I still have this something, with the bugs, botulisms, fucking around. So, let's see, is there anything else? But anyways, the main thing is, you figuring out the value of you. You figuring out, in that process, you have got to forgive the people who have done you wrong. Holding on to resentment, anger, and bitterness is only going to hold you back into low vibration. And then, I don't know, you could either go towards figuring out, God, that whole world, or this AI world. So, I don't know. And there's going to be more, I guess. More different, because I know there's going to be tons of realities even in the age of Aquarius, because every community will become its own reality. Every place will be its own. It's just going to be in a higher vibration, and we're going to have access to more places to go and experience. So anyways, to me, I know in order to get there, you have to work on yourself. And the biggest thing that I can see in all the people around is that people don't love themselves. They don't even know where to begin to love themselves. They go outside of themselves to look for love. And I did the same thing. So I'm not saying anybody's bad for doing it. It's shame on you. You shouldn't do it or whatever. If you want to move out of that, you have to be aware of it. So you have to look at yourself. You have to be real with yourself. My stomach's growling and I'm making this bread and it smells so good. I forget you guys can't smell it. It smells so good. I'm gonna go eat some bread. But so anyways, main thing is learn how to love yourself, learn how to love everybody, and learn how to have the day you want to have, because that's the direction I'm going. You get to decide where you're going, but if you want to go that direction, there's certain things that you need to work on. So that's what my advice would be: learn how to love yourself, learn how to love everybody, and learn how to have the day you want to have. And anyways, but I'll talk about it again tomorrow, and maybe I won't be so ranty. But it's very irritating. So anyways, I'll talk to you later. Bye.